Hi everyone, happy Monday, happy new week. Welcome to Go with Pilates from the living room. I was saying if any of you guys are following the story on my Facebook stories and my Instagram stories, I'm going to try and kind of focus a little bit this week on some footwork exercises that help strengthen your feet, strengthen the muscles in your feet, make your feet a little bit more healthy from a muscular skeletal point of view. So we're going to do some work with those. I'll also be posting different articles that I have in relation to Pilates and Pilates footwork, but also other exercises, other types of exercises and other reasons why it's so important and how everything comes from your foundation, which are your feet. So that's one thing. And also a little bit of focus on some abdominal sessions, exercises, kind of shorter little sessions that really focus on toning up and tightening our abdominals and our core. Today, because I need you guys to have a couple of little pieces of equipment, nothing major, everything that you'll have around the house. I'm not going to focus too much on the foot exercises today. We'll focus on that a little bit more tomorrow, but I'm going to do a little abdominal routine for today. So just to let you know, let me scoot back here, what you'll need for tomorrow for your footwork is any sort of ball that you have. So I've got a couple of range of different ones. Tennis ball, golf ball is great if you happen to have a golf ball at home, or one of those little, like little ball that the dog will play with. They're squeezy, but they'll do. Or a slither, anything at all that has a bit of density to it. If you really haven't got anything like that in the house, a bottle like this, I have a bottle of perfume. Anything that we can roll and massage the sole of your foot out with a little bit. So that's that. Also, if you have toe separators, if you paint your own toenails, and you have toe separators, great. I don't have any here in my parents' house. So equally, a rolled up piece of kitchen roll or napkin that we can separate the toes with. That. Some marbles is what I would use in the studio at home in Galway, but I don't have any marbles here, lost them. So I went out and got some pebbles out in the garden. So just pebbles like that and a dish or a bowl to put them into. You'll see tomorrow what we're going to do. And of course, a stick, if you have one, or one up from the garden. Any sort of branch type stick or walking stick like that would be great. And of course, the usual, your foam roller. So if you have your foam roller, great as well. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to focus a little bit on that tomorrow, to give you a chance to grab those. And it is fun working with the feet, and it's not just your feet that we're going to work with. We're going to work with your ankles, with your calf muscles, with your shins. So if you've been doing a lot of extra walking, as I was saying before, on concrete or running or whatever it is that you're doing for your bit of cardio, you might find that you're tightening up a little bit through there. So these will all be really helpful. If you do a lot of running, it's great to keep the feet strong and healthy. All of us need to do it. So that's from tomorrow on. But let's get into your some abdominal. We warm up first. Quick warm up in a seated position. So sitting tall onto your sit bones. Relax down through your shoulders. Lift the muscle out of the way to feel the bones in your bottom pressing down onto your mat or onto your carpet. Lengthen up tall out of your waist. Stretch up through the tips of your ears, crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to focus on your breathing. Send your breath wide into the back and the sides of your rib cage. And then exhale, either out through your mouth or out through your nose. Big deep breath in. And breathe it out. Relaxing through the shoulders. One more, just breathing. I forgot to blow my nose. And exhale out. A little bit of shifting of your body weight side to side. So we're going to inhale into one side, exhale into the other. I can use one of these kitchen rolls, sorry. Excuse me. One side and over to the other. One more each way. And then allow your body weight to settle as evenly as you can through both sit bones. On the next time, we're going to lean forward and bring it back. Bring it forward and bring it back. One more each way. And bring it back. And then settle onto the sit bones. So you're pressing down equally through both sit bones. Pelvic tilt from here. We're going to roll and curl your tailbone under and send it back. Tuck your tailbone under and press it back. So it's tilting or posteriorly tilting your pelvis one way and then anterior tilt. You feel your lumbar spine stretch and arch. One more. And then halfway between the two, you're pretty much in a neutral position here. Feel yourself lift up out of your waist. Lengthen up through the tips of your ears, the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. A little bit of focus on our Pilates breathing. So I want you to tactile cue yourself. Breathe wide into the back and the sides of your rib cage. And then engage your abdominal muscles and scoot your navel in towards your spine. Tighten or make your waist smaller. So we'll do a few more of those. Slow inhale in. Try and slow down your breath. Think of your favorite smell. And then make your waist smaller as you breathe out. And again, send your breath wide. And breathe it out. One more, just breathe in. And exhale. Good, let's warm up through your shoulders a little bit. Shake out with your hands, up along your forearms, up over your elbows, up into your shoulders and your upper back. Shake, shake, shake. And then round forward with your arms and press them back. Round forward, stretch back. Two more. And one more. Good. And then relax your arms by your sides and rotate them in the socket. All the way forward, all the way back. Two more of them. One more. Face the inside of your arms into your body, just your shoulders round forward and squeeze back. And squeeze back. Two more. And one more. And squeeze back wide across your collarbone. Trace a little circle with your nose. And reverse that. And then put your nose into the center of the circle and nod up and down with your chin for 4 and 3. And one. Chin stays lifted, slide straight in and out. Two more. And one more. Draw in, inhale, center, exhale, cross, center, and turn. Center, and turn. Bring it back center, ear to your shoulder, come back up, and other side. And reach, and reach. Come back up, ear to your shoulder, little quarter circle brings your chin to your chest, and lift back up, and other side. Squeeze up tight with your shoulders, release them. Squeeze and drop. Two more. One more. And drop. One shoulder at a time, lift and release. Other side, lift and release. And lift and drop. And shake out your hands again up along your forearms. Elbows, shoulders, upper back, shake, 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 shake. Good, and relax it. Okay, so from here, we're lifting up tall out of your waist. Shoulders are relaxed, sliding down. Just a little bit more focus on your Pilates breathing before we take it into the movements. Once again, send your breath wide into the back and the sides of your rib cage. Really feel like you're breathing into fish's gills either side. Hold it for a second. And then let the breath out slowly. Relax your tongue, relax your jaw. Making your waist smaller. Go for 2 more of them. And one more. And make your waist smaller. Squeeze it in. Perfect. Okay, so going straight into our movements, we're going to start off in quadruped position. So bringing your hands directly underneath your shoulders. Let me make sure I'm in shot. Hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips, about hip distance apart. Slide your shoulders away from your ears, lengthen through the back of your neck. And we're going to focus. This is a great way of focusing a little bit on your abdominal muscles, because obviously gravity is pulling our tummies down towards the mat in this position. So if you were to relax and let your abdominals just stretch, you can see what happens. So by drawing your navel up towards your spine, you're working even just by in this position and focusing on this breath. You've got the abdominals engaged and pulling in. So it's a really super easy way to strengthen your abdominal muscles, in particular your transverse abdominis, without any risk of injury. So if you've got anything going on with your lower back, your neck, your shoulders, and you don't like doing the traditional abdominal curl or any of the curling type movements that I do in the Pilates classes, you can always go back and just strengthen every day by doing these. So what we need to do with this is we need to make sure your spine is in a neutral position. So the first thing is where your head is. If I'm looking back at my belly like this, oh God, which I definitely don't want to do, I need you to look at the mat, probably about, 10 centimeters in front of your hands, something like that. The hands are directly underneath your shoulders. You're lengthening through your elbows. Now we got to make sure that the lower part of your spine is in a good position. We equally don't want to be rounding like this. See what happened to my upper back? So we want to get the shoulders sliding away from your ears and a lengthening sensation through the mid part of your spine, so the thoracic part of your spine. The lumbar spine, the lower back, we don't want it like this, but equally, we don't want to be up in this position. We want to be neutral with it. So, get this hair out of the way. So let's do a couple of pelvic tilts in this quadruped. So this is one aspect, and this is the complete opposite. So one extreme to the other extreme. Lumbar spine is rounding or stretching, or hollowing and extending. Round and stretch. Good, and about halfway, something like that between the two is where you're in neutral. Hard to judge completely, but if naturally enough there is a natural hollow in the lower back. So we don't want to be up rounded, but we equally don't want to be sticking your glutes up into the air, your butt up into the air. So about halfway between the two. And then from there, a little bit of side to side rotation. So stretching like you're wagging your tail. If you were a dog, you were wagging your tail. Wagging your glutes. Side to side, and then bring that back center and feel like you're lengthening through both sides of your waist. Okay, so from here, the ribs are the next thing we need to talk about. When we're lying on the foam roller, I've mentioned to you before, let me come up and show you this, how we don't want the ribs to be flaring out. See what happens to the belly. So what you want with your rib cage when you're in quadruped is that feeling of you're drawing your ribs towards each other for a start, like you're lacing them up, and then almost like you're sliding them towards your pockets, just the ribs in front, slide down towards your pelvis, towards your hip bones. So from there, we take that back down into your quadruped. We have that connection with the ribs aren't flaring. Now we can think about your Pilates breathing. Send your breath wide into the back and the sides of your ribs, like the fish's gills feeling. And then tighten your waist, make your waist smaller, squeeze your belly button up towards your spine without moving your spine. So I'm not doing this when I'm exhaling. Okay, let's go with that again. Let me make sure I'm in a good position myself. Shoulders away from the ears. You're not hollow, but you're not rounded. You're in a neutral position with the pelvis. Ribs are connecting towards each other. Front of the ribs are connecting towards each other and towards your hip bones in front. And then send your breath like fish's gills into the back and the sides of your rib cage. Make your waist smaller, tighten your belly button in like you have a wide belt or a corset around your waist that's squeezing you in. One more. So you can do as many of those as you've time for it. As I said, it's a really safe, easy way to strengthen your transverse abdominis. You're not allowing your belly to drop. You're keeping it pulled up the whole time, squeezing in, squeezing in, squeezing in. Okay, so from there, we're going to go further with it. So what I would suggest, we've done about 4 or 5 breaths in that position. If you go for 10 of them, if you're doing it at home, if you're practicing it at home, do 10 at a time, focusing on that slow inhale in. It's a great way of getting your breath, your deep breaths in also. And exhale. We're going for 3 more. Make your waist smaller as you squeeze, 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 exhaling out. 2 more. One more. And squeeze. Now you can add another little aspect to that if you want to. I don't have it close to me, of course, but the little softball that I use sometimes in the class, you can put that in between your knees and squeeze the inner thighs towards each other as well. Notice the difference that makes, even if we don't have something, if we don't have the ball between the knees. On your next exhale, think about making your waist smaller and tighter, pulling up the abdominal muscles, but also think about, like, there's magnets on the inside seam of your leggings that are drawing towards each other. You're not actually moving the legs towards each other. You just feel that draw, that magnetic connection between them. So let's try a few of those. Send your breath wide, back and sides of your ribs again. And then draw your navel to your spine, tighten your waist, make your waist smaller and feel as though the inner thighs are being pulled towards each other. So you get that up to the floor of the pelvis. We go for 2 more of those. And draw in. And 1 more. And draw in. Now see how safe and easy that is, and you will feel the abdominal connection. After you've done about 10 of them, you'll feel the difference, or you'll feel that feeling of being able to keep the abdominals pulled in as you breathe. Okay, let's make it a little bit harder if you want to. So now we're going to take yourself, toes tuck under, you're going to take your knees up off the floor for a couple of centimeters on the next one. So let's take your deep breath in first. As you're exhaling, making your waist smaller, scooping your navel to your spine and feeling the inner thighs draw towards each other, lift up your knees. Just a couple of centimeters off the floor and take 2 breaths here. 1 more. Now if you feel that a lot on your wrists, come back onto your toes a bit more. Push back into your heels a little bit more. We're going to do 1 more of those. Watch, I'm pushing back into my bum and my heels just that little bit more, so I take some of the weight and the pressure off my wrists. And release it. Okay, if that's enough for you, stay with that one. The next level or the next progression, make sure I have room here. Might have to come forward, I'll come to the side a little bit. Okay, hopefully you can still see me. With this one, I'm going to extend back my feet. Now, having the skirting board behind is actually no harm, actually, when I think of it, because you can push against something. So same thing, in neutral position with your spine. Inhale wide into the back and sides of your rib cage. Make your waist smaller. Scoop your navel to your spine. Come up off your knees and extend back. Okay, I'm too close to the skirting board. Hold on. Extend back. Engage your glutes. Feel as though your inner thighs are drawing towards each other. Good. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your ribs connected in the front. Belly button scooping in. And breathe. 2 breaths here. 1 more. And exhale. And release it. If you need to, if you feel it in your lower back, sit back onto your heels, stretch. If you want to shake out your hands and your wrists a little bit, shake them out. Now, if you are feeling it too much in your hands and in your wrists, you can spread your hands out a little bit, it might help. If it's still too much there, if you have a weakness there or they're uncomfortable, go back to the lower level. Bring your knees down again, stay in the bent knee position. We're going to do 2 more of those prone planks with extended arms, and then we're going to bring it up to the next level, which is the classical Pilates exercise, which is a prone leg lift. It's really important, I can't stress enough, how we've taken it from the lower, the level 1 all the way up to this. This connection here is crucial. The minute you let that happen when you're in a plank position, you're putting your back under way too much stress. You're also losing the reason for the exercise. I mean, it's all about strengthening your core, making you feel really comfortable and strong in the position. If you're under pressure and you're like this and it's uncomfortable, you can't breathe properly, then it's much better to go back down to the other level and get comfortable with that first. Okay, so back into position again. I'm sorry I'm out of shot on one of, I know on the Instagram I'm probably in shot, but in the Facebook one I'm out of shot a little bit by the looks of it, and apologies for that. Okay, so hands directly underneath your shoulders. Neutral position with your spine. Connect the ribs, connect the abdominals. So you've got a bit of thinking to do before you jump into a plank position. Same anytime that you're doing plank. Always think about what's going on here first before you lift up your knees. So, shoulders away from the ears, take a deep breath in. Above the knees, if that's where you're staying, that's fine. Extend back. Push back through your heels and walk forward. Press them back, engage your abdominal muscles, ribs pulling in. Prone leg lift, we're going to lift and lower. Lift and down. Lower, squeeze up and lower. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. And relax it. Sit back onto your heels and stretch. Good. Bring it up, shake out with your hands and your wrists. Bringing that into your Pilates push-up. Pilates push-up usually starts from a standing position. We're modifying it a little bit. We're going to take it from plank position or prone leg position. Pilates push-up is much more like a tricep exercise. The elbows, I don't know whether you can see there, the elbows come in closer to the body. We have a narrow hand position. And we're going to lower up and down for the count of 5. If you can do 1, great. If you can do 5, great. Whatever you can do today. So right back to our quadruped. Starting quadruped here. Okay. Big deep breath in. Engage your abdominal muscles. Engage the ribs. Neutral spine. Lift up the knees. Hold. Extend back with your legs. Hold. Bring it into prone leg lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And ready for your push-ups. Take an inhale. And 1. 5, sit back and sit back and stretch. Slide your hands back, shake out with your hands and your wrists. Good job. Okay, we're going to do one more of those that little routine. So you can make that, you can do it twice, you can do once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times, you can do it as many times as you want. I don't know about you, so it's the radiator isn't even on today and I'm feeling warm. It does get the heart rate up a little bit, it gets you pumped. The only thing that I will say that's really important is don't rush through it if you're losing that abdominal connection. You got to keep your navel pulling in towards your spine and the ribs connecting. Once you start to lose that, once your body becomes too tired for that, then stop and go back to it again another day. Okay, let's go with it. Quadruped position. Slide your shoulders away from your ears, connect the ribs, connect the abdominal muscles, make your waist smaller. Big deep breath in. Scoop and lift through your knees, hold. Forward a little bit. Extend back your legs and hold. In this position, before we go rushing, squeeze your inner thighs towards each other, activate your glutes. Make sure your ribs are connecting, abdominals are connecting, shoulders are sliding away from your ears into your prone leg lift. Squeeze your glute to lift your leg. Push through your heel. 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it ready for your push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it back and stretch. Woo. Slide back, press up and shake out through your hands. Okay guys, so that's your little routine for today. Works your abdominals, works your core. We're going to add some foot exercises for tomorrow. Any questions you have, anything you're not sure of that I did today, if you want to send me a little clip of you doing it for me to try and help you with it or correct it, please feel free. Have a lovely day. The sun is shining again. And I shall see you all tomorrow. Take care.